ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We are studying Isavasyopaniṣad, not Bhagavad Gita class. Still the same invocation. Prayer. The summary of what we have studied till yesterday. It is Purnam, and then it comes to the path. And then if you do not follow the path, it is suicidal. And if you start following the path, ego, arrogance comes. And then you take care of that ego. In the path, you take care of the ego. You reach a state of the drama of realization. So, the next few mantras is going to talk about the decisive moment, the shift. Before we go into the text, there is a clarification. We will take it up and then move on to the text. Yes.
Two questions. First one is, with reference to mantra 10, you said hand is an ego and try to become zero. So I couldn't understand what is the meaning of trying to become zero.
Yeah. Question. What is zero? Zero is a poetic expression. A poetic expression of saying there is no... The ego is that which makes you believe you are an entity. It is ego that makes you believe that you have a separate identity. You are a separate entity, distinct and different from others. In relation to some you are better. In relation to some you are worse. All this is the play of the ego. Because ego survives through the other. Other means comparison. When we say the other is always in terms of comparison only. So, zero is a figurative way of saying, it's a poetic expression of saying, reducing the ego. And then we went on to elaborate what are all the various ways of reducing the ego. So, zero means no ego. Without ego, your presence will have no meaning to you. It is ego that brings a meaning to your existence itself. The moment the ego goes out, the question is, then why am I? Then why am I existing? For what I am existing? You follow? First of all, you imagine you are existing. And then out of that imagination, you create a purpose for your existence. First of all, the existence itself is imaginary. In that imaginary existence, you create a purpose. You can call it goal, you can call it purpose, you can call it desire. All are one and the same in this context. You have a purpose, you have a goal, you have a desire. And that desire, purpose or goal makes your existence meaningful to you. So the ego finds a purpose to keep itself alive. It has to be alive. How it can be alive? What it can do to be alive? Either -1, -2, -3 or +1, +2, +3. It's never the zero. So here he is saying get to that 0 point. So that is the zero, where all these extra things that you give meaning to your existence gets eliminated. That is what is meant by becoming zero. Zero is recognition that you are part of the whole. That's the way to understand zero. Zero means you are part of the whole. You are part of the whole means there is neither a superiority in your existence nor an inferiority in your existence. That is zero. Again I repeat. Zero means you understand that you are part of the whole. So all parts is equally important. When you understand all parts are equally important, straight away what goes out? The ego? The ego goes out. When the ego goes out, something wonderful is revealed. When ego goes out, the wonderful thing is revealed, which is Brahman, the truth, the Purna. So, you remove the ego, the truth reveals. So, in order to get to the point of revelation, what you understand? One way is zero means dropping everything. No, that method doesn't work. That method will not nullify the ego, because the new ego will start that. Yeah, a new ego will start. You follow? So then what is the way out? You are not allowing us to go in any direction, suffocating. In what direction to go? There is a beautiful direction. Realize that you are part of the whole. Ego means not feeling your presence. You don't recognize that you are present because you are so much part of the whole that it is such a healthy way of living, you don't see anything. Just as you don't feel the presence of the eyes, even though the eyes is functioning perfectly. Isn't it? Even though you don't feel the head, even though it is perfectly functioning. That is part in the whole. It is doing it, but it doesn't realize, you don't notice the presence. That is zero. You follow? You don't notice the presence. You don't even notice it in the sense of part in the whole. Part in the whole. Part in the whole. When you say part in the whole, instantly you are acknowledging the other. Instantly you are recognizing the other. What goes out? Vijigupsa goes out. Vijigupsa goes out. Because hatred comes only when there is a running race. Only when you are running there is hatred. Because always anxiety. Because somebody is there before you. Always. Somebody is there before you. Running before you. So always there is an anxiety. And then you look back, somebody is behind you. Abada. There is a satisfaction that someone is. So this is the play of the ego. You follow what I am saying? So where this ego isn't there, where you understand that you are part of the whole, what happens is the exaggerated notion that you give goes down. Because ego means an exaggerated notion. I value my presence more. We all value our presence. We recognize the existence of the others, but value we place on ourselves a lot. That is ego. We all recognize others are existing. We all recognize that we all need to help, share, all that we understand. But while doing all that, we do one thing that upsets all that. What? The extra value that I give it to myself. That extra value that I give to myself is the ego. So take it to the other extreme. Figuratively, we said become 0. Are you okay? Next question.
I haven't yet understood the long winding path.
Oh, long winding path. A long winding path is a statement made which cannot be known through logic but through penetrative understanding. It takes a while even to understand. Long winding path, it will be long winding. It needs some penetration. What is the penetration? What is the penetration? The mind has so firmly believed that if I achieve my purpose, I will be contented. The mind is so convinced about it. What is penetrative thinking? So many times in life you got it. It's not that you didn't get anything. Out of 10 things, 7 things you got. 1 or 2 only you didn't get. 8 things you would have gotten. Even before you can understand that you got it, the mind has shifted to the next. In order to get that, what amount of time and effort is made to get it? It doesn't come from the sky, no. Whatever you want involves effort. And then you get it. After getting, you understand what you are cheated. After getting, you always feel that you are cheated. And obviously, who you will blame? The other only, because they are the ones cheated you, no. So, long winding path is nothing but stop blaming the whole thing and then coming to an understanding that it is me that has been chasing all these. Having gotten it, still why am I the same? Having gotten what I want, why am I the same? Mind says, no, you didn't get. Mind says, I didn't get what I want. Are you able to follow? Mind says, object I got, but what I want through the object I didn't get. Therefore, it will continue. Again I repeat. Mind says, this object you get, that's it. You get it. After getting it, the same mind says, object I got, but what I wanted through the object I didn't get. So long winding path is nothing but punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Going through it again and again and again in one janma and going over multiple janmas, seeking the same result. So it means what? For that one point, long winding, you are going 360 degrees all over the place, coming to that point again and again and again, and that point is not understood. That is a long winding path. Path implies a goal. When we say path presupposes a goal. Correct? Simple. Whenever you say path, what it presupposes? A goal, a destination. Then only the path becomes a meaning, only in relation to the destination. Long winding path means a destination that can be reached straightforward. You go all over and come back. As a long winding path. You follow? They say no. Touch the nose. And then you can touch the nose the other way also, isn't it? You can go like this and also touch. What is long winding path? That which can be touched like this. You go round. What is going round? What is going round means? Seeking Purnam through the wrong methods. You are seeking Purnam but seeking Purnam in the wrong areas, where it is not capable of giving you that Purnam. Because anything that you seek has limitations. Purnatvam cannot come from anything. Purnatvam will not come from anything. It is, if it can come from anything, then it can't be your intrinsic nature. It's an acquired trait. If Purnatvam can be gotten through something outside, then it proves that it's not your intrinsic nature. And anything gotten can be lost. It means Purnatvam also can be lost. Because anything acquired can be lost. If Purnatvam is acquired, which is not your intrinsic nature, again you will lose it. So, what is the long winding path? Not pausing mentally and examining, what am I seeking? What am I seeking? Pause abdinna, not stopping action. Pause na, again we think we have to stop action and take a break and go and sit somewhere. That is not pausing. You follow? Pausing means, as one part of you is in action, use action as an opportunity to, that's the wisdom. Knowing how to use action as an opportunity to recognize what you are seeking. If you stop action, you can never recognize that. Therefore, winding path is using action for something else and then correcting it by saying, through the action, what am I seeking? What am I seeking? All this should run while doing action. You don't take a break from action, sit in one corner and sit and do this. It won't work. It won't work. Why it won't work? Because the way to quieten the mind for deeper penetration is action, not sitting quiet. Again I repeat, the way to quieten the mind is action only. Action only quietens the mind, not sitting in one corner, sitting with eyes closed, meditation. It will not quieten the mind. The mind will pretend as though it is quietened for a while. Because, are you okay? Mind will pretend as though it is quiet. Ego will pretend as though it is quiet. Why? Because by pretending, it will have a greater hold on you. Then the bargain will start. I allowed you to be quiet for 30 minutes, no? Now feed me. So that becomes a transaction now. That becomes a transaction. Therefore, Upanishads don't agree to all these methods. People may believe in all these methods and they keep thinking something is happening. Something is happening. You follow? Quietening the mind is a trick. Understand that. That's why in Vedanta we don't talk about meditation at all. Upanishad never spoke about meditation. It spoke about doing the right action. Straight away jumped to the... They never talk about meditation because meditation is a tantra. It's a trick to quieten the mind. The word tantra means trick. Take it or leave it. The whole world believes in trickery only. Tantra means a trick. Trick means what? You are tricking yourself. What is the other word for a trick? English la. That trick is a very old word. What is the new word you can use? Magic. Manipulate. It tricks. The word tantra means that. Tantram nale, you romba tantramana alpa vise, isn't it? The word tantra means what? Technique. Cheating technique. Not a good technique. It's a cheating technique, correct. That is tantra. There are so many ways you can cheat into a quietude for a while. What you don't understand is the ego is hiding inside that. Those who practice quietening the mind is for what? Why do you want to quieten the mind? Why can't you say no mind? Why can't you say no mind? Why you want to quiet mind? Correct? Raju, idan kelvi. Why can't you say no mind when you are asking quieten the mind? Because the very attempt quietening the mind itself implies that you have not known what mind is. If you have known what mind is, you will never try to quieten it. You will say, mind is functioning, I am watching it. Again I repeat, you will say mind is functioning and I am watching it. And the easiest and the effective way, not the easiest, it is the easiest also, the effective way to watch the mind is through action. That's why they keep talking about action a lot. You follow what I am saying? You want to quieten the mind, but you will never say no mind. Because you don't know what mind is. Because you think mind can be quietened. What makes you think mind can be quietened? It means you have no knowledge of the mind. The only way the mind quietens or pretending quietening is when you go on pampering, feeding. More and more pampering, more and more feeding, the mind appears to be quiet. That's the distinction we made yesterday between the senses and the mind, if you remember. Yesterday, day before, one of the days we did that. Isn't it? The senses and the mind. Senses can be quietened. It will be temporarily quiet. Mind will not be quiet. Mind and quietude doesn't go together. That is why divine blessing, divine grace, deep sleep. Thank God that deep sleep is there. Otherwise we all will be mad by now. Because mind cannot quieten, cannot stay quiet. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. What are you talking about quietening the mind and all, Krishna? I have tried. It just doesn't work. No, somehow I can force it. Ego started, the mind will start pretending. How it will pretend? So many times in past janmas you have tried this technique and ultimately I won. Now also I will pretend as though I am cooperating. Finally who will be the victor? The mind. Shankaracharya will be of no use. Isavasyopaniṣad will be of no use. The basic texts, the Prasthanatraya, the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, all that which is of 3,100 verses combined will be of no use. Because it is not, you do not quieten the mind. You do a particular type of action, the mind starts realizing its uselessness and it melts away. That is Upanishadic method. But everybody wants to quieten the mind. How to quieten the mind? Sir, mind quiet another, sir, we can focus, we can concentrate, then we can do things effectively. What you are not understanding is mind appears to be focusing, mind appears to be concentrating, mind appears to do all this because through that you are giving the hope to the mind that you will get what you want. If I can concentrate for 4 years, this is what I will get. The mind will allow for the mind will cooperate with you for that 4 years. Correct? It's not quietened. It is simply cooperating because the guarantee is there. What is the guarantee? I can get whatever. Are you able to follow? So many times it is tried and then it keeps failing. Each and every attempt and then recognizing the failure and coming back to the same point. Each time attempting this, recognizing the failure and coming back to the same point is long winding path. You follow? 10 years. We can do one full retreat itself on the title. Long winding path. You follow? Is it okay? Yes, Raj.
Sir, good actions to quieten the mind meaning. What we are learning is doing away I or ego, this type of activities that will quieten our mind.
No. The activities that will quieten the mind is whatever regular activities that you are doing, you start the activity with a prayer. Start the activity with a prayer and then remind yourself of what? And remind yourself of what?
I am not the doer.
Huh?
I am not the doer.
I am not the doer. That's why remember, doer versus actor. Doer versus actor. Actions can be done in two ways. A prayer reduces the doership. Because in prayer, you are not asking for support for your action. In prayer, what are you saying? Thank you for giving me the strength to do the action. Today prayer means asking for the result of the action. That is not prayer. That we don't call it as prayer at all. That is transaction with God. Isn't it? That is not prayer. Prayer means what? Thank you for giving me the strength so that I can do the action today. Strength is there already. Divine says, why are you even praying to me? Because strength I have given already. Unnecessarily, if you burden yourself, what can I do? You are burdening yourself. What is the burden? The trained person. What is the burden? In the compartment, sitting with the luggage on the head. Why? Because as it is, the train is carrying my weight. Why should I trouble the train more? The train says, anyway I am carrying you and the luggage also. I am the one who is carrying both. Isn't it? You follow? It's a very simple story. The fly asked the elephant in the evening. The fly asked the elephant in the evening, whole day you have been carrying me. If you are tired, tell me, I will walk away. The fly told the elephant, whole day you have been carrying me and walking around. If you are tired, tell me, I will fly away. What did the elephant reply? Now that you spoke, I recognized you are sitting on me. Otherwise, I didn't even realize it. Are you able to follow? This is the burden. The ego of the fly makes the fly to believe that it can be a burden to the elephant. Why even do all this? You follow? But the mind keeps doing it. So quietening the mind means start the action with the prayer. And what is prayer means? That's the prayer he is going to do here also. From this we are going to derive the message of how to pray. From this we are going to derive the message. He is going to say that next month and all there is a prayer. Beautiful prayer he is going to give. From there we will derive a method of how to pray. And everybody will say Upanishad is anti-prayer. It doesn't talk about prayer at all. He is ending with prayer. It is ending with the prayer. In that end, there is a technique. How to pray. You follow? So, while before the action, prayer. While doing the action, I am not the doer.
There is a good action.
Any action. Whatever actions you do this. In relation to the result of the action, an attitude. So there is an attitude of prayer before the action. There is an attitude during the action. There is an attitude in relation to the result of the action. Anyone you can catch hold of. The beauty here is you catch hold of one, rest will follow automatically. You need not try and practice everything. You catch hold of one, everything follows. It's not like one by one you have to practice. Whichever inspires you, practice. That's why the culture here is everything is prefixed with a prayer. The Vedic lifestyle was like that. Before you brush your teeth, there is a prayer. Before you brush your teeth, there is a prayer. Before you bathe, there is a prayer. Before you eat food, there is a prayer. You go on to agriculture, you worship the bullock that is helping you to plow. All that is associated with that action, you worship. Because recognizing it is made possible because of all these. Able to follow? Mind quietens. For the mind to quieten, it has to recognize abundance. Always remember that. Mind cannot quieten by closing with the eyes in meditation. Mind quietens only when abundance is recognized. Because when abundance is there, the anxiety goes, the worry goes, the tension goes. Mind becomes quiet. Now the whole training is how to recognize the abundance. The whole training is how to recognize abundance is the whole training. Opposite of that is what I always believe. I have to quieten the mind so that with greater efficiency I can work more and acquire more. Look at the ulta logic of the mind. Are you able to follow? I will quieten the mind. That quietening of the mind will make me more efficient. With that efficiency, what I will do? I will acquire more. Constant worry, tension, anxiety, etc. Where does mind get quietened? You follow? Therefore, quietening the mind is by recognizing the abundance. Action continues, the mind is still. Ramatirtha. While the body is in action, mind is at rest. If the mind is not at rest, body will refuse to move. Legs will refuse to move. Hand will refuse to move. It will not move. And how much ever you try to persuade the other person from outside, do. That person will come back and say, my hands and legs are not moving. What to do? Wait. 2 more whips are required. Life gives 2-3 more whips and that whipping will wake you up. Is it okay? Rajway. Huh? Mantra 15, huh? Yes.
हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्य विहितं मुखम् तत्त्वं पूषण्णपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्य विहितं मुखम् तत्त्वं पूषण्णपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये.
The face of truth is covered by a golden disc. The face of truth is covered by a golden disc. Remove, O sun. Remove it so as to be seen by me, who is of the nature of truth. The face of truth is covered by a golden disc. Remove it, O sun, for to be seen by me. And who am I? The nature of the truth. Satya Dharmaya. Satya Dharmaya means I have done so much of effort to live a life of truth and I have lived a life. What is the life that I have led till now? A life of Satyam, a life of Dharma. Since I have lived that life of Satyam and Dharma, What happens to the person who lives that life of Satyam and Dharma? What is Satyam? Dharma means obeying the law. Dharma means law. Dharma means law. And people will interpret Dharma means nature. That word should not be applied here. Dharma means the law. That I have lived a life of noble. I have lived a life obeying the law. Satyam. Dharma is obeying the law. Never have I violated any law. That is one I have practiced. Who is saying all that? The practitioner at the verge of realization. It's called drama of realization. So you should remember, the practitioner is talking, not the enlightened one. Not the enlightened person. The practitioner is talking. That's why it's called drama of realization. So you have to understand here as practitioner. Sohamasmi Vandada, that person has become enlightened. So all along don't confuse this with enlightened person. All along understand it as a practitioner of truth, because then only next mantra only saying Sohamasmi. So at that time only realization actually happens. Satya Dharmaya. Dharma means a life of obeying the law. Then what is Satyam? What is Satyam then? To the best of my ability, I have penetrated so deep in not violating the law. It's not just superficial. Every action of mine, every thought of mine, I was so alert about what? Not to violate? Not to violate the law. So much of effort has been done. For that person who has done that effort, already in light. That person is already in light. And what is the prayer here? Light and remove the light. Remove the light, not removal of darkness. Why? The life of Satya Dharma itself takes you to that height. And it's so wonderful, so golden. The person is he made a mistake of reveling in that also. Remember that. Having done all that, he reached that height and he made a mistake of reveling in that. So, what we got to understand now? Now the Guru has come and he is telling, stop reveling in this light also. Stop reveling in this light. Because you have to understand the sequence. Visualize the sequence. He came to this point and reveling in that. Anything painful you can let go of easily. How can you let go of that which is so inspirational? How can you let go of that? It is natural to leave that which gives pain and sorrow. It's natural to give up that. No teaching is required to come and say no teaching is required to say leave the darkness. But teaching is required to say leave the light behind. What is the light? What is the light here? The Satya Dharma life itself is so, who is of the nature of the truth. Nature of the truth means I have been living this life for so long. O Sun God. There are two gods that we are going to worship. One is Sun God, another is Yama. Both are opposite gods. Remember that. If you want to understand Upanishad, you should understand these two gods. One is Sun. Another is Yama. Yama means the Lord of Death. So, there is a God that is life giver, there is a God that is life taker. Correct, no? Look at the two gods that he is worshipping. He is worshipping Sun and then Yama. These two gods, of the two gods, so much of effort will be always done to get rid of the dark god, Yama, the Lord of Death. But how can you get rid of the sun god, Pushan? Yama comes, you will say, I don't want to be in your clutches. I don't want to be your accompanying. Because Yama comes and says, accompany me. And you will always say, no. Tomorrow. At least let the retreat finish, no? At least let the retreat finish, no? Because where we get... and so many praises I am getting, I have started thinking this morning, something I said wrong in this whole retreat. Something must be wrong in this whole thing, isn't it? Oh, very good, sir, very good, sir. This morning I woke up thinking, innamo tappu nadadachu 5 days, Rajini, not in your food and all. Something. How can you, we always pray for not to accompany Yama, and we always pray for light to be there. Knowledge and ignorance. We always pray for the removal of ignorance, and we always want to keep the knowledge thing alive. And here he says is what? Remove the disc. Remove the disc. The lid. Disc na idan disc. This is the disc. It's covering. All that his prayer is, remove it. Remove it. Why does he pray? Why does he pray? He prays because that is not part of a human effort. That lid removing is never part of the human effort. That's why all effort takes you to the point of golden disc. All efforts can take you only to the point of golden disc. The removal of the golden disc is not part of any human effort. It cannot be part of an effort. It is such a wonderful light that the person will not wish to remove that. Such a wonderful light it is. Such a beautiful light. The person has no intention of wanting to remove it. But then he has learned. What? Again it's another trap. Again it's a trap. Again it's another trap. It is very difficult to ask for it to be removed, but the truth will not reveal if that is not removed. So he is caught up now. What is he caught up now? Such a wonderful golden disc. You lead a life of Satyam and Dharma, very difficult to let go of that. Because it is so, that itself is so relieving, that itself is so relaxing, that itself is so wonderful. Why will anybody wants even to remove that? But then here he says, no, you have to remove it. Because a golden chain looks like an ornament. You don't understand it as a chain. That's only difference. Iron looks like a chain. Gold looks like an ornament. Now, how can you get rid of an ornament? You can get rid of a You can get rid of a chain easily. But how can you get rid of an ornament? Because it is so beautiful. But that also has to be renounced. When you are wanting to go beyond darkness, you should also pray to go beyond light. Asato ma sadgamaya. Upanishad will say, junior level student will say all that. In the elementary level, this will be your prayer. LKG level, that prayer you will do. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from darkness to light. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Kathopanishad. Lead me. Here the prayer is not moving from darkness to light. Here the movement is beyond the light also. So from darkness to light and going beyond the light. A very wonderful way of explaining the person crossing the Dvaitam. So very wonderful description of the person praying to cross the Dvaitam. Because prayer is required only for one thing, to move from Dvaitam to Advaitam. That's where prayer is required. Rest of it is all effort. Always remember that. Prayer is required only to move from Dvaitam to Advaitam, meaning the two to non-two. Prayer is required for that. Prayer is not required to be in the Dvaitam, because anyway, your ego, your effort, your will makes you to believe you are here. You can do that. Your ego makes you to believe that. You believe that you believe that I have Purushartha, I have self-effort, I have will, I can do it rightly, I will fight it. All this happens in the medium of Dvaitam. So no prayer is required in Dvaitam. Prayer is required for what? To leave the Dvaitam behind and to experience the Advaitam. So that is why prayer is reserved to the last. You end with that prayer. You start with effort. So many techniques are there. So many methods are given. You come to the height, and in that height what do? You say, I have exhausted all my efforts. Having exhausted my efforts, I can't do anything. That's prayer. Here is, what is the prayer here for? Not the removal of darkness. The prayer here is for the golden disc. Why it is golden disc? To get over adharma is easy. When they say get over dharma, what will you do? Don't be bad is okay. Cross over being good also, now what will you do? Because you will know what to do, you will go back to doing bad. If you say don't be bad, you will start doing good. And then if they say that also you stop now, what will you do? Go back to doing bad only, because what else to do? So here he is saying what? It is not from bad to good. At one level it is from bad to good, and then the very goodness itself becomes a chain. Mantras 9 to 14. Vidya, Avidya, Sambhuti, Asambhuti, all that you understand. Why he is saying that? That itself becomes a chain. So transcending bad at one level by becoming good, and then transcending good itself. So what is education from the beginning? As you are making efforts to become good, remember it's only a path. Being good is not a destination. But we all take that to be a destination in itself. We don't put a comma there, we put a full stop. Don't be bad, comma, be good, full stop. Upanishad says, don't be bad, be good, transcend both. Get rid of both. For good and bad differs only in degree. It's a question of time, that's all. What is good, what is bad? It only differs in degree. Good and bad is a conditioning. If you are conditioned in a different environment, something will appear good, something will appear bad. If you are in a different environment, something will appear good, something will appear bad. So, what is good and bad has no universality to it. It's a sheer conditioning. It's a sheer conditioning. Here, even if you stamp on a newspaper, we will go, we'll go, isn't it? Because it's Goddess Saraswati, isn't it? Some other culture, they will use book as the footrest. Keeping legs on Goddess Saraswati. That's why they are all like that. And they are much better than us anyway, isn't it? It's a conditioning. So, what you call as bad is one kind of conditioning, and what you call as good is another kind of conditioning. Transcend both. Transcend adharma is a very good advice. And when he says transcend dharma, what will you do? Unless you transcend the dharma also, the truth will not be revealed. That's why it's a path beyond good and bad. Bhagavad Gita. He says it is the path beyond good and bad. It is not a good path, bad path to good path. It is the path devoid of good and bad. Satya dharmaya drishtaye. Why we can't understand this mantra too much is because we have never seen light. We have never seen light at all. We don't have even a glimpse of what light is. Since we have not seen light at all, the lighted things are misunderstood as light. It's lighted by consciousness. What we see is that which is enlivened by light. All that we see is that which is enlivened by light. If there is not a single object in this room, the light will be, you will not see so much light. If you are seeing so much light means what? So many obstructions are there for light. Where there are so many obstructions for light, you will feel the presence of light, because we have not seen light. Object is seen very clearly, you will say very good light. If the object is seen hazily, you will say light is insufficient. Not seen at all by you, darkness. You look at the sky, between the two stars it looks like dark. No, it's not dark, light is there, but nothing there to reflect the light for you to say there is an object. So we see only the reflections. We see only that which is lighted. So what is the knowledge here? When you see two things, remember that which is making you to see it is not seen. Again I repeat, that which is making you to see it is never seen. What is removal of golden disc now? I want to see that which is making me to see everything. That's the Upanishadic prayer. I want to see that which makes me to see everything. What is that one knowledge by which I know everything? What a greed it is. There cannot be a greedy prayer than that, isn't it? The person goes and says, teach me that one thing by which I will know everything else. Effort, determination, carefully follow. Effort, determination, purushartha, will, all that can take you to a point of less and less darkness. Prayer helps you to transcend both. Prayer helps you to transcend both. But Upanishads don't talk about prayer at all, because prayer is seen as a substitute for effort. What can be gotten through action can be effortlessly gotten through prayer. That's why everybody goes and prays to God. Because I know through the effort it is very difficult to get, and if I pray to God, and God being loving and compassionate will give me that which effort is not. No, sir. Effort is not required, just to pray. A person is, you can gather inspirations, you can gather everything, and you can have a determination to fight darkness. But the last point, your effort, your determination, everything becomes so useless there, so redundant there. So what does the person do? Praying to Sun God, as it were. O Sun God, remove the golden disc. Remove the golden disc. When you see a hindrance, you will ready to move fast. When you see happiness, legs won't move. Correct? Where you see happiness, legs won't move. Where you see darkness, where you see a threat, automatically movement happens. Isn't it? Remember the famous Buddha story? We all know that story. A person is, a human being is running in the forest. Follow the story. A human being is running in the forest. You can run for two reasons. Two reasons can make you to run. One is something chasing you, you want to escape that. Or you want something, you are chasing that. Purida? All running is only of two things only. Either something is chasing you, or you are chasing something. In the forest, both are happening. Both the things are happening at the same time in the forest. What? Somebody told him there is a diamond mine in the forest. So he is running. He is running in search for the diamond mine. As he is running for the diamond mine, a lion started chasing him. Look at the condition of the human being now. Beautiful story he gives. Such a fantastic story. So, as he is looking for... Now, what is the priority? Now, what is the priority for that man? Getting away from lion is the priority. So, what he does? He catches hold of, all the Ashwatha trees, the roots hang. So, he catches hold of the root and he is hanging. There is a pit below. And the lion is waiting. Because how long this man can hold, hands will start paining. And lion knows, it's smarter. So it is waiting. So, okay, 10 more minutes, the fellow will anyway fall down. Why? So the lion is relaxed. This man is holding on to the root. As he is holding on to the root, two rats are coming and eating the root. There is the pit, there is the lion, there is the diamond mine. Don't forget the diamond mine. All this attempt of saving for what? To escape the lion, to escape the rat, to escape all that is for what? For the diamond mine only. It's not my story, Buddha's story this is. Beautiful story. Standing. There is the pit, there is the diamond mine, there is the lion, there is the rats eating up the root. In that movement, the honey bee is disturbed. In that moment, the honeybee is disturbed. Honey started dripping. Honey started dripping. What that fellow did? Stuck the tongue out. When the honey is stinging, when the bee is stinging, this is not a golden disc. You can get over this very easily. Imagine everything around you is so complete. Everything around you is so perfect. Like a King Janaka. King Janaka wasn't hanging in the root there. Correct? Are you able to understand the difference now? King Janaka wasn't hanging by any root. There is no pit there. Everything is so complete and perfect around him. He wakes up and asks a question. That is far more difficult than this point. Are you able to follow? Upanishad says, unless you come to that point, you will never ask for prayer of removal of the golden disc. Otherwise, you will only pray to God for what? Let the lion go away. Let the rat go away. Let the bees that is stinging me go away. Let the honey be drop. Let the honey be dropping. He will not pray for the honey to be stopped. Let the honey continue to be dripping, so that, because I have studied calories, energy, strength, isn't it? Calories, energy, strength. For what? The diamond mine is still there, no. Yeah. The diamond mine is still waiting for him, no. This is easy. This situation, if this situation also cannot make you see the truth of life, that's all, don't worry. What can be done? Nothing can be done to this person. But here there is a different situation. What is a different situation? The golden disc. Meaning, there is no pain in life. There is no suffering in life. There is no sorrow in life. Everything is so blessed. In that blessed state, asking to remove the blessedness is difficult. Are you able to follow? That's the Upanishadic prayer. It's a wonderful prayer. To come to that blessed state requires effort. Carefully follow now. To come to that blessed state requires effort, and to transcend that blessed state, not the effort. To transcend that blessed state, what do you require? You don't know what to do. You simply don't know what to do. So what is prayer? I am helpless. A recognition of helplessness. Only when you have reached the peak of effort, you can understand helplessness. Till that time, what you think as helpless is not real helplessness, just the ego playing the game. Remember that. Correct, sir. So many times in life, we also have experienced helplessness. Nothing has happened out of it, no? You follow? Nothing has happened out. So, not the helplessness that we experience here. The helplessness is removal of the blessed state. All our endeavors is to get to that blessed state. Who has ever prayed to get out of the blessed state? Who has ever prayed to get rid of the blessed state? All our prayer is to get to that blessed state. From Naraka to Swarga you can pray. From Naraka to Swarga you can pray. But what you cannot pray for? Leave heaven behind. Hell to heaven? Logical. Leaving heaven behind is so illogical. It is more illogical than Purnam. If Purnam is illogical, a prayer to leave the heaven is much more illogical. That's why Upanishad we always say it as illogical only. No. They know something so deep about life. A human can come this far, and then he recognizes nothing can be done from Now on. What he does, only those who have come to this point reaches the ultimate. So what is the sequence? Effort, knowledge, prayer. Effort, knowledge, prayer. Ulta matitam. Karma, bhakti, jnana ke badala? Bhakti na ittipo. What do we do now? All along karma bhakti jnana, karma bhakti jnana, karma bhakti. So karma bhakti you do, you will mature into jnanam. From jnanam you will go to moksha. Abba, I know. Now it is changed. What? Knowledge, effort, knowledge, prayer is the sequence. Those who know the truth understand the sequence. Those who do not know the truth, ultava they will talk. That's what he said. Because they know to what extent effort can take you. From there, what takes over? Prayer comes only after effort. No prayer should be made before the effort. I have practiced yoga without alpana. I have practiced yoga. I have practiced chanting with all the apaswaram of Ranjini and Venkat. Oru swaram illa, onnu illa, all apaswaram only. Isn't it? You're getting a headache only. I practiced that also. This I practiced, that I practiced. Knowledges I heard. Bhaskar. Notes after notes after notes I wrote. And the wife is complaining. Only loft is getting filled up with your notes. Correct or no?
House loft.
Yeah, correct. House loft தான் போயினே இருக்குது. She told me also, sir, he's writing so much of notes, only the loft is getting filled up and he's not willing to get rid of it also. அதுக்கு termite treatment, அதுக்கு anti-termite treatment பண்ணணும், for what? At least leave the paper. It's a food to, at least it's a food to the termites. No, why do you? At least leave it there. I have done this, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this, I have come to this point. What is the point? Such a blessed state I have reached. Such a wonderful state I have reached. An extraordinary state, which is all human aspirations. I have reached. Upanishad says, where have you reached? You have not reached. Where have you reached? You have not reached. Transcend. That's the golden light. The blessed life, transcending the blessed life is the golden light. That's why the Upanishad tradition, Raj Rishis have a greater value. The Raj Rishi, the king who is a Rishi. Raj Rishi means the king who lives life like a Rishi. See, normally we think Rishi means one who goes out of suffering, isn't it? Too much of suffering in the house, robo, video calls with robo, made a? Not this time.
This was what was going in here.
Because wherever he go, he will not make a video call with his wife. He will make a video call with his dog. Rajul, correct then? Wife comes, switch off the video. Dog comes, switch on the video. Why? Because I can't live without seeing Robo. Because Robo is the only thing listening to him. If he says stand up, it will stand. If he says sit down, it will sit. அது ஒரு நாள் கூட பார்க்கலன்னா so I transcended that also. Having transcended everything, it's a blessed state to be in, and this blessed state has to be given up. This blessed state to give up is not easy. So much effort. Correct. Brick by brick. You are doing the action and you are remembering I am not the doer. When everything says it is yours, you have kept on saying It's not mine. It's not mine. The doership is gone. The mindness is gone. What a blessed state to live in. And you feel you have attained. That itself looks like an highest attainment. Most of the people so-called enlightened get stuck at this point. That's why Shastras call them as partial enlightenment. Partial enlightenment, no enlightenment only. Either you are enlightened or not enlightened. That is a partial enlightenment. Just to give some solace. You are also a good person. That blessed state has to be transcended. When efforts are exhausted, prayer happens automatically. Prayer doesn't happen out of effort. Effort is directed towards two things. I am not the doer, nothing is mine. So effort is always to get rid of the doership and to get rid of the mindness. Isn't it? What is the logic? Understand the logic. If doing can give enlightenment, again, enlightenment becomes part of your effort. Meditation is also part of your effort. This person has finished with meditation also. What else to do? They told everything. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I did. That is the moment of enlightenment. Buddha talks about it so beautifully. Anybody says anything, this is the path for moksha, he will do. Fast means he will fast. He'll say feast. He'll just eat and eat and eat. Walk in the sun, he will walk in the sun. Sit in the shade, he will sit in the shade. Nobody can do effort in the way that Buddha did. Meditation, watching the pranas. I don't know what all he did. He did all that a human being can do possibly, he did. Enlightenment didn't happen. He was sitting under the tree. It's a full moon day. He simply relaxed and said, enlightenment happened. Prayer relaxes the tension of the effort. Prayer relaxes the tension that the effort creates. So effort, relaxation after the effort, enlightenment. That's why they say Buddha got enlightened in the lying position. Because we all think meditation means like Ramana Maharshi posture, no? Sitting in the caves, ants were eating him up, and still he was meditating. Oh, what a wonderful state. Upanishad will say, poor fellow, he wasn't guided properly, it will say. Why to do? Why to do all that? Simply lie down and relax. In that relaxation, in that prayer, in that relaxation, what happens? Enlightenment happens. So what is he saying now? Effort, exhausted effort. Purushartha has understood it cannot do anything anymore. What is it doing? Oh sun, remove it. Oh sun, remove it. Light can be removed only by a superior light. So you can't go and ask Shiva, you can't go and ask any other god. So he is asking directly to the source. Oh sun, remove it. Oh sun, remove it. A beautiful mantra. Next mantra.
Effort, knowledge and prayer.
Yes.
In between knowledge, what is the role it plays? So effort, knowledge and prayer.
Because knowledge is that which refines the effort. If I am doing an action, I need the knowledge of an action, and more the knowledge of the action, better the action. That's why action requires the support of the knowledge. Here knowledge not as in Nitya Nitya Viveka Vichara. Here knowledge as in the knowledge of the action. You follow? I need to act, and I need to have the knowledge of the action, I make effective use of both, and then finally wait. Mind is agitated in waiting. Prayer says relax. Why are you getting agitated now? You have done your effort. No. What you do? Just wait. Rajvel. Okay, va? Next mantra.
Pushanne kashyamasuya Rajapatyavyoharashmi Samohatejo Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatshe Pashyami Yo Savasau Purushasohamasmi Pushanne kashyamasuya Rajapatyavyoharashmi Samohatejo Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami Yo Savasau Purushasohamasmi.
O Pushan, O sun. And there are few adjectives given to sun. The soul traveler, controller, acquirer, son of Prajapati. O sun, remove thy rays and gather up thy dazzle. So in order to read it, remove the adjectives for a while. When I say remove, it means not removing it. O sun, remove thy rays and gather up thy dazzle. I behold that form of thine, that being that is most auspicious. He am I. It's over. So, is telling sun god what? Previously remove. Sun obeyed and removing. Last mantra, please remove. So sun is, because he deserves, no. That person deserves it. So the sun is removing. As it is removed, what is the... As it is removed, I behold that form. I behold that form. Meaning, looks like I am going to get a grasp of what it is. Looks like I am going to get a grasp of what it is. Because I have done the effort, thus the disc is being removed. Gather up thy dazzle. Gather up thy dazzle means it's two. You can close your eyes. Two kinds of darkness. One is actual darkness, another is bright light. Two kinds of darkness. One is darkness which we are all generally familiar with. What is the bright light that gets you blind? Look at the sun. Don't look at the sun. Your eyes will get burnt. Not literally. Two types of light. One is blinding due to difference. Another is it's so bright that nothing is visible. Or something is seen so differently. Something is so differently. So what is happening here? The dazzle is previously golden sun covered. Shift to Priyartha. Previously golden sun covering. Now he is saying it is dazzling. It means what? It is revealing itself. When it is revealing itself, it is too brilliant. By the time he somehow squints the eyes and try to see it, looks like he is getting a glimpse. Even before he can understand what it is, it's revealed. Soham asmi. He am I. It's a Mahavakya. Isavasyopaniṣad Mahavakya is Soham asmi. Saha aham asmi. Another way of saying aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi is one way. Saying same aham brahmasmi in another way is Soham asmi. Saha means Brahman. Aham, I. He, am I. I am he. I am he means the duality, gathering up the dazzle, duality is still there. When he says he am I, duality is gone. Are you able to follow? Till the time the person is living in this dvandvas, the last pair is also gone. How to dramatically put it? That's why it is called as drama of. That's why it's called drama of realization. It's a drama. Don't understand it as happening in sequentially. For explaining purposes, we are talking about it as though it is sequentially happening with time gap and all that. All this you should understand is happening in a flash, because you cannot transcend time under the limitation of time. Always remember that. You cannot transcend time under the limitation of time. You cannot say time was born on a Sunday morning, isn't it? You cannot say that. When was time born? On a Sunday morning, huh? You can't say that. Similarly, you also can't say, I got enlightened on this day, this time. It's meaningless. It's meaningless it is, because transcending the time cannot come under the purview of any time. That's why the enlightened person says, are you enlightened? He just laughs and he will walk away. He will not even say yes or no, because yes also has no meaning. No also has no meaning. And better to say no than to say yes. Better to say no. Because the moment you say yes, you are caught. So simply say, are you enlightened? No. Because who's asking? Who are you reporting it to? Simply say no. Save me from misery and give me happiness is a wrong prayer. Take me, give me freedom from misery and happiness. That is the soul, that is the prayer here. Are you able to follow? Saha aham asmi. Saha aham asmi. And what got him that last point? Prayer got him the last point. Prayer. It is prayer that got, not the effort. Or prayer becomes meaningful only after the effort. Prayer minus the effort is no prayer only, because it is just tamoguna it is. It's laziness it is. That's why Vedavada Rataha, the Upanishads blast those who pray. We conveniently hear it as they are against prayer. Look at that. It is our mistake. Amar. They didn't say don't pray. They say you do not know where to position prayer. Learn where to position the prayer. Where it should be positioned. Effort. Then prayer is the right sequence. That's the right positioning. But what is prayer in the eyes of the people? As a substitute to effort. So when Upanishads criticize that, how everybody comments on it? As though it is useless, redundant, that has to be given up now. If you give that up, the transcendence can never happen. Therefore, what do they say? Understand the sequence. And when you understand the sequence, the truth is revealed. What is the truth? He am I. From Purnatvam, you will say, I am Purnam. Are you able to follow? Started by saying, you are Purnam. Here he is saying, I am Purnam. First mantra, the Guru says, you are Purnam. This mantra, the student says, I am Purnam. The moment the Shishya says, I am Purnam, both are dissolved. There is no Guru, there is no Shishya after that. There is no Guru, there is no Shishya. Because who is there to claim as Guru? Who is there to be claimed as Shishya? That's what Ashtavakra told Janaka. Ashtavakra, in the Ashtavakra Gita, Janaka is the student, Ashtavakra the teacher. Maybe he was also conducting a retreat. Yeah, because fees, Guru Dakshina is taken first and then only you are allowed inside. Correct? They did that, no? He says, pay the fees now. Ashtavakra tells Janaka, pay the Guru Dakshina now. Janaka said, no, depending on how you are teaching only I can pay. No. What are you asking pay now? Because it's you go, you buy an iPhone, it is tangible. You know there is something yardstick to measure whether the price is worth or not. Here you come, you really don't know. Then they ask, how do we fix that? Room charge evlo parango, sapad charge evlo parango, fix it, that's all. Because how to measure this? No way that it can be measured. What cost can be given? Because cost can be given where there is a possibility of you to understand something. You are Purnam. Purnam alone exists. And finally the student says, I am Purnam. Everything goes out. Guru goes. Shishya goes. Everything becomes equal. Ashtavakra told Janaka, the way that I will teach you, at the end of the session you will get enlightened. Rajvel. At least Timuga mele very of the poch, isn't it? Huh? The way you understand it, the way I teach, it's so complete. At the end of the session you will be enlightened, because after enlightenment, even the last or the only meaningful relationship in life is a Guru Shishya relationship. That also is gone. There are so many relationships in life, and the only meaningful relationship is the Guru and Shishya. Why? Because where all other relationship traps you, forces you to be in ignorance. All other relationships will force you to be in ignorance. All other relationships will tell you that you should not transcend. Okay, transcend others, but don't transcend me. But how can you leave me? Guru says, leave me also. Leave me also. Well, everybody says leave others, but don't leave me. Guru says leave me also. The only meaningful relationship is this Guru Shishya relationship, and that is also gone here. Saha aham asmi, soham asmi. The extraordinary Mahavakya, which is called Anubhava Vakya. For our purposes, it is called Anubhava Vakya. Literally, there is no Anubhava, experience. Literally, there is no experience there. But for our purposes, we call it as the experience of the truth. For in reality, there is no experience of truth, because there is no experiencer to report about the experience. Again, there is no experiencer to report the experience. Therefore, there is no report of enlightenment. How that state will be, sir? I don't know how it will be. God only knows how it will be. How will I know? Soham asmi, Mahavakya. With this mantra is over. The Upanishad is also over. Then what he does, 2 more mantras are left, which we will take up after the break, which is a summary and reintroducing the prayer. Reintroducing the prayer and the effectiveness of prayer. And then Purnamada, Purnamidam, we will chant, we will conclude the studying the text. Okay.